Hello, outsiders. It's Justice Pry here. And it's no secret that I love the Sonic movies. Seriously, easily the best franchise currently existing based on video games. And while I've spoken about how much I love these films in the past, I'd be hard pressed to say that I don't have some issues with some characters. Don't take this as a negative perspective, the characters in these movies are generally great, but there are some choices that I just don't get. So, let's take a look at who I would consider to be the worst character in each Sonic movie and TV show because we're also including the Knuckles series. And let's start at the obvious beginning. Sonic 1 is the simplest movie in the franchise, but their characters are still fun. Sonic is great, as is Robotnik, and of course Tom and Stone create great dynamics with said leads. Even the minor characters add so much, like JoJo, Maddie, and Crazy Carl. But one character just never made sense to me. And that is Major.
Nobody cares! Nobody cares.
Yeah, Neil McDonough is listed in the credits for this character despite 5 seconds of screen time, and he barely does anything. He's just someone for Eggman to bounce off of for his introduction. I'm not saying that's inherently a bad decision, not everyone needs to be the most fleshed out character. But if you're going to cast a name actor, maybe give them a reason to be in the film. Major Bennington has to be the worst character in this movie simply because he could have been played by literally anyone. Sorry, Neil McDonough, but at least it's not personal. I'm going to skip ahead to Sonic 3 now because the worst character in this movie is in a similar boat to Sonic 1. Kristen Ritter was hyped up so much leading to the release of this film, but director Rockwell just feels so bland. Which is a shame, not just because Ritter is a talented actress, but because fans thought she'd be perfect for Rouge. Don't get me wrong, Ritter not being Rouge is whatever, that's not the reason her character is the worst. That would go to the fact that she doesn't do anything in this movie besides be a tough government agent. I still say she's better than Major Bennington simply because she actually contributes to the plot, but to quote Sonic All Stars Racing, okay, skipping back for a second, let's look at the Knuckles show, which I haven't seen since it came out. A lot of people would probably say Wade due to him stealing screen time from Knuckles, which, fair, but I don't believe that that is a fair assessment since I consider him to be a pretty likable character. He just got way too much screen time here and a very boring subplot. His sister and mom aren't the most entertaining either, but the candle fight automatically makes Wade's mom rise a little bit, while Wanda gets some redemption in the last episode. That being said, I think the absolute most bland character in this show has to be the buyer. Mostly because I didn't even know his name until looking up the video with every fight in the Knuckles show. That and the fact that his backstory was tacked on and will undoubtedly never be mentioned again makes him obviously the worst one here. Not a memorable villain and not a memorable character. On to Sonic 2. You're probably wondering why I didn't just go in release order for this and decide to end the video with Sonic 2. Is the character that bad? Well, actually, it was quite the opposite. When I first wrote this script, I couldn't think of a single bad character from this film. Seriously, Tails, Knuckles, Sonic, they're all fantastic, and I'm very happy to see them here. Even Randall and Rachel, while their subplot was weird, at least had relevant plot events going on that tie into future stuff. Not to mention the side characters who, while brief in appearance, had moments that landed and got genuine reactions from me and my friends. But I needed to include someone to round out this discussion, so I watched the entire movie again with fresh eyes, and I've come to the conclusion that the worst characters, yes, plural, in this movie are the scavengers. They don't have any lines besides screams and really just show up with Knuckles. Not to mention the fact that absolutely nobody would know what these guys are or that they were relevant unless they read the prequel comic that takes place between the two movies. Even then, these guys do nothing memorable other than wear cool armor. But that'll have it, guys. Like I said, this is just a discussion. And while these are the worst characters in the movies, I think I've made it abundantly clear that the general consensus is that these characters are great. I love just about everybody in these movies. And in fact, the fact that the worst characters are just ones that barely had any screen time and could have been fulfilled by other roles says a lot about how good some of the characterizations in these movies are. So, yeah, I just thought I'd have a little discussion, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Have a God bless day, everyone.